On the profile interview segment this week, I will be speaking with the president of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employers. He will be sharing with us what the union will do to ensure that local government in Nigeria gains autonomy. Join me. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here too.
A lot is happening in the political scene in the country as elections will be coming up very shortly. What is NOGE's position in terms of its members voting candidates into office?
Well, that is a very interesting question because we are heading to general election in our country. And as a grassroots trade union, the unions that unionize workers at local government level, particularly at this critical time, we feel it is very, very necessary for us to change our approach to electing, representative into governance in this country. And because of this, we decided to arrange series of activities ranging from congresses at the local government level, where all members at the local government who are members of NOLGE converge in a meeting to talk to themselves as to what are the kind of people they really need to be their representative. More especially with the huge disappointment we receive on the our struggle to make local government a bit more functional by way of ensuring that some useful and positive constitutional reforms are achieved to make local government more visible in the scheme of things. Sincerely speaking, we mobilize our members at that level, and series of meetings is taking place just to strategize and talk to ourselves on the kind of people we need to have, particularly at the State House of Assemblies before other levels of the election. And we encourage our members to participate where necessary, and it will interest you to know that we have a lot of our members. Some are even state president heading the union at various states, joining politics, different political party platforms, and buying different offices in order to have a clear and good representation on our vision of the kind of local government we need in this country.
Okay, moving forward from what you said now, you said your members have been meeting at different forums. Can you tell us some of the resolutions that you have made? Because I heard from the grapevine that NOGE has agreed that they are not going to vote lawmakers who are not in support of local government autonomy into power. How true is this?
That is exactly why we are engaging our members and other stakeholders, because we believe ordinarily legislators at the State Assembly, at National Assembly, need to have bearing with their constituencies, need to be directly connected with people. And when in a situation like this, the people of the Nigerian people have spoken, the people they represent from their constituencies have a very clear position as to what kind of local government they want. But unfortunately, the so-called representative at State Assembly, they are doing a different game. And our call on our members and other stakeholders is receiving a huge, success by way of people trooping to participate in the town hall meeting we are organizing to ensure that first you identify what should be the criteria to elect your own representative as a local government worker, and to ensure that those that betrayed the trust of the people that elected them in the 8th Assembly are not given the opportunity to come back. And that is our focus, and I'm telling you, we are moving well.
So amongst the 36 states that we have in the country, are you telling us that there are no House of Assembly that is ready to ensure that local government is actually autonomous?
Already we have about 12 states that passed or took decision on the bill transmitted to them by the National Assembly. And out of these 12 states, 9 actually supported and voted in favor of the bill to free local government, to make local government, more functional, and the institutional frameworks of the local government to be strengthened by ensuring that the bills passed by the National Assembly are accepted. And only 3 out of the 12 rejected, and the rest, that is about 24 of them, are yet to take any decision. And from all indications, they will never take any decision, because that is what their governors wanted them to do. And we are going to certainly walk in line with what is on ground. That means we clearly, declare our support openly for all the state governors, all the House of Assembly members, where they voted in favor of the autonomy, local government autonomy bill. And we are going to work practically to support them, not only mere rhetorics. And those that rejected the 3 certainly will not receive our favor. We will do all we could. One, they will not get our votes and our families' votes. Secondly, we will mobilize as grassroots workers. We are closer to the grassroots people than anybody in this country. So we are going to talk to them, talk to the people in the rural area, that these are the representatives that betrayed the trust you gave them by way of rejecting the freedom of your local government. And rejecting the freedom of your local government is like your continuous stay in a stage where you had been, where a lot of deprivation is taking place. The disconnection between you as the people in these in communities and the governance and the democracy as a whole. And the people are listening, and I know we are going to do more about it.
I know before now on this program you've spoken about the advantages of having a local government autonomy in a federal system of government. I would like you to reinstate how this will benefit the average Nigerian worker.
Well, number one, as a worker, and the welfare and your security as a worker in any industry depend on the strength of that industry. As it is today, every Nigerian knows very well that local government is completely grounded. It's completely grounded in the sense that no local government is functioning well in terms of delivering its mandate on the people within the community. And this is happening because of the level of the encroachment by the government of the state. And this attempt by the National Assembly to, ensure that some useful reforms are achieved in order to make local government more functional is being hijacked by these state assemblies through the influence of the governors. So certainly an autonomous local government is going to be government of the grassroots people, for the grassroots people, and by the grassroots people. And that is what democracy entails. And you can clearly understand that in any democratic situation, the most critical element of democracy is election. And election into local government council over this period of time is not forthcoming because of the intervention and encroachment of these governments. Intentionally, most of the governors at different times decide not to allow election to take place as and when due, to create vacuum so that they will end up having, obnoxious laws enacted by the state assemblies to give them, a mandate to select people, handpick their stooges and cronies, and put them at the helm of affairs of the local government. And that would further give them the opportunity to divert whatever is meant for the local government in terms of naira and kobo.
How has this effect been on Nigerian workers in terms of probably good governance?
Yeah, the issue of local government autonomy generally is the problem of good governance, because it is only when the element of good government is protected at any level of government, the government will be practically functioning. And in a situation whereby the Constitution clearly guaranteed for an elected representative at the local government level under Section 7 of the Constitution, and the governor of the state put himself above the Constitution of Nigeria by handpicking the people to put in the position of authority in local government. Certainly, that is like completely removing people from the governance at that level of government and usurping their right as citizens to elect the councillors of their choice and chairman of the local government council of their choice.
This brings me back to a report that I read earlier as regards you urging President Muhammadu Buhari to actually ensure that there is a forensic audit into the joint accounts of local government. How far have you gone with this?
The truth of the matter is that from all indications, neither federal government nor the anti-graft agencies in Nigeria are interested in, rescuing the huge corruption that is happening in the local government. Because I don't believe that the federal government is not aware of the perpetrators of the corruption in local government system. I don't believe that the anti-graft agencies have not been receiving reports and complaints from Nigerians on how these local governments and their funding is always been diverted. But up to now, no serious measures have been taken. After all series of complaints from our union and other stakeholders, both through press discussions, press conferences, through other avenues, even through petition and memos written to the presidency. But nothing actually is being done, and nothing completely is about to be done from all indications. If you hear anything concerning local government from any anti-graft agencies, from our own understanding of federal government, it is only when there is political issue between the government of the day and probably the state in question. When there is a political problem, political crisis, maybe between the political interests of the government at the center and a particular state, you will see anti-graft agencies trooping into that state, investigating the operations of state local government joint account. But we see it sincerely as more of political witch hunting than the real business of addressing the corruption in local government. Because if you are to address the issue of corruption and good governance in local government, you must find a way of, bringing to book any state government that refuse to conduct election and create an unnecessary vacuum to handpick, their stooges to put in the leadership of local government, as against the provision of the Constitution and the ruling of the Supreme Court in many cases that were already determined. And also, the issue of corruption, you must address it side by side with the issue of a democracy that is absent in the local government. Who are the operators of the local government, state local government joint account? How have they been handling it? Is there any accountability in handling the state local government joint account? Is there any transparency? Nothing, absolutely. And the federal government and the anti-graft agencies are not forthcoming as far as this issue is concerned. As I said, it's only when there is political interest, then you begin to see them rushing into a particular state. But what we are calling for is a holistic approach to address the issues in local government. Because Nigeria has been, wasting a lot of money from the federation account meant for grassroots development. But unfortunately, this money are always being hijacked and misappropriated at the level of state local government joint account by the governors of the state.
Moving forward, there's a call for restructuring in Nigeria. What's your members' position as regards restructuring?
We believe as a union, Nigeria needs to be restructured. It needs to be restructured in a way that it will impact on the livelihood of the Nigerian citizens. Not a restructuring that is meant well for the ruling class. So the concept or the idea of restructuring as a whole is a welcome idea, but it must be holistic in approach, and all hands must be on deck. There's no way you can restructure Nigeria to the benefit of the Nigerian masses without strengthening the institutional frameworks of local government. I believe, and we believe as a union, that our agitation for local government autonomy is an element of restructuring, because all is not well with local government system, and it needs to be restructured, and it needs to be, so many issues need to be addressed in order to connect the system with people at the grassroots level, so that the issue of inclusiveness we are talking about, which is the cardinal, objective in any democratic setup, could be achieved.
Okay, we know that minimum wage is top national issue in the country at the moment. What should talk about the ultimatum that Labour has given, and how are local government workers coping with the amount of money received at the moment?
Well, local government as a system, and particularly local government workers, when you are talking of working class in Nigeria, are always at the receiving end. Because they are the most discriminated class of workers in Nigeria. They are deserted, and maybe because of the level of encroachment we are talking about. And definitely, local government workers in Nigeria are yearning for an enhanced salaries because of the economic hardship in the country, because of the inflation rate that is growing by the day, because of so many indices. The Nigeria Labour Congress and other centers, labor centers in Nigeria, consider before pushing for the increase and demand for an enhanced wages in the country. One, we achieved 18,000 minimum wage, I think, in the year 2010. From when this 18,000 minimum wage came into being to date is 8 good years. And between 2010 to this year, a lot of issues cropped in. The issue of devaluation of Naira was there by this government. The increase and hike in the petroleum products was there, and so many other economic issues that make or useless the 18,000. So what 18,000 can give you in 2010, it will hardly give you, 1/3 of what it will give you in 2010. So if justice is to be done to workers, not only the workers of local government, definitely we deserve an increase in our salaries. And more importantly, that the law of the land clearly stipulated that after every 5 years, there is the need to review the issue of salaries, the minimum wage of workers. And we are in 8 years now without any serious approach to address this issue.
Finally, we still have so many states that are owing workers salaries. What's your message to defaulting states?
I think even in this today's National Executive Council of NLC, we resolved that any state government that fail in its responsibility of paying worker salaries, they should not enjoy the patronage of working class in that state. So in a nutshell, where there is no salaries, there shouldn't be bought from workers. That is a clear statement from NLC. And you know, Nolge is one of the big affiliates of NLC. And we are there, the decision is ours, we are part of the decision, and we are going to carry the message everywhere.
It was an interesting time speaking with you.
Thank you very much.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember, labor creates wealth.